Alright, do this really quick. F of x is equal to 5x squared minus 3. We're asked to find the domain and range. And since this is a polynomial of the general form ax squared plus bx plus c, all that we're going to look at is that first term to determine our domain and range, 5x squared. 5, the thing that matters about the coefficient, is it positive or negative, and is this exponent even or odd? Positive or negative tells me if it opens up or down, and the even or odd tells me if as x approaches positive infinity, does y approach positive infinity, and if x approaches negative infinity, does y also approach positive infinity? So that tells me if, as we're going to negative infinity and positive infinity, if our y is going in the same direction, or in the instance of an odd function, as x approaches positive infinity, y goes to positive infinity, but as x approaches negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity. So since this is an even one, we're going to go in the same direction. This could work also with opposite magnitude. When I say opposite magnitude, if we had an instance of negative 5x squared instead, well, this negative tells me it's going to open down, but this even exponent tells me that they're both going to open down in that same direction. So they're both going to be going like this. And this would be even more different if we had something like this. But in our situation, we're dealing with this, so we know that our general function is going to look something like this, and we can find the vertex of this function to determine the range. So we already know the domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity, because as x approaches negative infinity, we're just going all the way up to negative infinity. X approaches positive infinity, going all the way to positive infinity. The domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity. Our range is going to be our vertex, which is the formula x equals opposite b over 2a. We write our function over here, 5x squared minus 3 can be rewritten as 5x squared. We don't have a middle term, so plus 0x minus 3, because we have to have it in that general form of ax squared plus bx plus c, even if it's 0 here. So this is our b term, because we have this is b of x, it's just 0. So x is equal to opposite of 0, which is just 0, over 2 times a, which is at 5. So 0 divided by 5, well, 0 divided by any number is just 0. So we know that the x-coordinate of our vertex is going to be 0. Now we plug in for our y-coordinate into our original equation. So f of 0 is equal to 5 times 0 squared minus 3. That's just 0. So f of 0 equals negative 3. So that tells me that our vertex is at 0. When x is 0, y is negative 3. Boom, boom. So our range deals with our y-axis. So our vertical restriction is going to be from negative 3 inclusive to positive infinity. So we know that domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity, all real numbers, because it is that polynomial. And this just tells us these exponents and coefficients just tell us in what direction and those signs are going to go for that domain. And our range is from negative 3 to positive infinity. That's that for that question.